Hi, I am Raphael Harry. I am the host of White Label American Podcast, and this is my participation in the C4 Challenge with the Content Creators of Color Collective. I am going to be answering 5 questions from amazing content creators and sometimes everyday people who inspire me or are just relatable in one way or the other. So enjoy, and I hope you get to learn something about me and also check out the people who asked me questions. Thank you. Hey, welcome to day 27 of the C4 Challenge. Look here, we made it. People, we made it. So I don't know if we'll consider yesterday a serious episode. Whatever. We made it. I'm glad you stayed with me. It's all about fun, learning, growing, and we grow. Win, 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 win. All we do is win. Shout out to my boy, J-Rock. That's right. Win, 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 win. So, today, in continuation of what I did yesterday, as part of the wrap-up series of my C4 Challenge, on day 27, I shall just be doing a brief wrap-up and roundup of a little fascinating thing that I've noticed in my short stay in the United States of America. It's about Africa, blackness, and the failure to recognize the diversity of the continent. Africa is a very diverse continent. We have over 3,000 languages being spoken. And our skin color varies, by the way. Yes, for the most part, we are dark-skinned, black, as we say. However, everyone on the continent identifies as African. Now, do we have people who tend to act like they're not Africans? Oh, yeah, hell yeah. We have racists on the continent. We have, now it's not limited to just white people. We have people who you may consider brown, who I've heard of. I have not met anyone face to face who has acted in that manner. But I've heard stories from some places where Portuguese might be the predominant language, or the official language. I won't say predominant. The official language is Portuguese. Where some people, rather than identify as from an African country, identify as being from Portugal. I say good on them. And there's the islands that nobody likes to consider. People act like they're not part of Africa until that movie came out, Madagascar. But Madagascar is the largest of the islands. There's places like Mauritius, which just got back Chagos Island after the international court ruled in their favor that the United Kingdom does not own the Chagos Island. So Mauritius is trying to reclaim the island, and people who lost their homes on that island are still alive. And a lot of them are black, by the way. I bet you didn't know that. But have you seen somebody from Mauritius? Not all of them are dark-skinned. And I'm not saying that people from Mauritius don't claim to be African. They all do. First time I saw somebody from Mauritius, he looked like somebody from China. And he used to be one of my favorite referees back in the days. If you're a soccer fan, you know the guy. Unfortunately, he got suspended or banned from the game. But I digress. The continent is diverse. We've had slavery in different forms, and it's not like the white people introduced slavery. We've always had our slavery. We had our issues. And thanks to a whole lot of misinformation and disinformation, people act like slavery just became a thing after Europeans started popping up. But no, it's not actually. There was slavery always on the continent. And some people were also introduced to the continent thanks to slavery, like people from mostly the south, the subcontinent of India. And they also added to the diversity of, especially the eastern, the Horn of African area to Southern Africa. We have a larger community of people in those areas who were introduced through indentured. Some were indentured slaves, and others, there's a whole different history about how they were introduced to those areas. This is not about who was a slave or who's not a slave. This is about the way people act like only Nigerians or Ghanaians are real Africans. There's no one people are real Africans. Everybody from Egypt to Morocco to the Gambia, Sierra Leone, Liberia, Equatorial Guinea, Sao Tome and Principe, Congo Brazzaville, Congo Kinshasa, Central African Republic, Angola, Mozambique, they're all Africans. South Africa, South Africa, they're all Africans. Reunion Islands, which is still, I believe, owned by France, by the way. I don't know if they've gained independence. I did not look it up for this episode. They are Africans. Now, one good way of knowing about this is, of recognizing the diversity on the continent is by watching the African Cup of Nations. There you get to see how diverse the continent is. You get to enjoy it. You get to see how we fight with each other, how we dance to each other, how we act with each other. I live in New York. I live in Brooklyn, but pre-pandemic, I always could be found in the city. And, every time I step up to a food truck, a lot of the food trucks are owned by people from mostly North African heritage. And, they see a brother, hey, you start speaking, hey, brother, where you from? I say, I was born in Nigeria. Oh, Daniel Mokachi, that was my man, JJ Okocha. I love JJ Okocha. And I say, man, I love Abutrika. What? You know Abutrika? If the guys from Egypt. I know Mustafa Haji, if the guys from Morocco. And, man, once you call somebody from each person's place, man, that's a hookup right there. They don't look at you and say, I see a black man here. Fuck off my place. No. And if you're a black American who's gotten food from one of these people and you just interact with them, you see that there's a relationship there. You see how they communicate with you. I'm not saying that everybody from those places are like everywhere. You got the good, bad, and the ugly. But we must be careful to, say, because there was a story about some Libyan, you say there's a story that somebody was selling, buying and selling, buying and selling people into slavery in Libya. So automatically somebody now frames it like all Libyans were into buying and selling humans. Libyans are also running for their lives. A lot of Libyans are in refugee camps right now. A lot of Libyans were displaced by the fighting. That part of the story seems to be left out. A lot of Libyans were also victims. A lot of Libyans were sold too. That part of the story was left out. Who was doing this buying? You don't know. All you go with is Libyans are doing the buying and selling. No, Libyans were not doing the ones buying. There's a war going on. So how you have money to buy? Wherever there's a crisis, it don't matter if it's in Syria, it don't matter if it's in Libya, it doesn't matter if it's in Central African Republic. There's always somebody on standby, or DRC, or Democratic Republic of Congo. There's always someone on standby to take advantage of the situation, because that's what humans do. That's what humans do. It's not a West or Eastern thing. It's what human beings do. That's why when someone came and said we need human beings for slaves, there was someone, hey, I can supply. It's a supply and demand. People act like capitalism was born just yesterday. There have always been someone willing to jump in and say, Is there money to be made? It's a hustle. Say, hey, we know our people. We know people. Trade has always been going on in that part of the world. The Mediterranean Sea has always been a huge economic part of the world, way before the Roman Empire came to be. And we're going to be acting like, oh, it's just today that somebody started selling the people trying to cross into Europe, someone sold. So it's like, oh, they hate black. Have you heard of the Libyans who, despite the crisis going on in their country, the Libyans who, with the little they have, are helping people coming from sub-Saharan Africa trying to cross to Europe? Have you heard of those Libyans? What are they? They're not all dark-skinned. But you don't know because you don't go out there to look. But if you just listen to one storyteller telling you, framing it that way, you think that, we are a diverse continent. We have a lot of people. If you go even to South Africa, where you have the small white minority with the majority of the resources, all the white people there are not bad people. They are good white people doing the right thing. Does not mean that the government... it does not mean that the white people shouldn't be held accountable and the land shouldn't be shared appropriately. But a few white people are still doing the right thing. I won't say, I don't know if it's a few, but I would just go with a few right now. But a couple of white people are doing the right thing. That's why you can see the white representation. You can tell when you see the good white ones. Now the Elon Musk that a whole bunch of you love, good luck with that. If for those of you who've looked into his family, good luck with that. That's what I'll tell you. Because when you see the way he behaves, you see the way his family behaves, like, good luck with that. But it's like, hey, it's like with Joe Rogan. But yeah, we are diverse. And yes, Elon Musk is African too, by the way. He's South African. But yeah, I think he doesn't, he claims white American. It's white Canadian or whatever he claims. I don't know. That ain't my problem. But yeah, I know black Africans who fight for him. Like he one of us. Like, yeah, as if he gives a damn about your ass. But yeah, we are a diverse continent. We have everything: the good, the bad, and the ugly. And with that being said, just remember that there are black people all over the world. If I may leave you with one thing, I'll leave you with Freedom Is Mine channel from YouTube. Check it out. Learn some real black history. It comes with facts. It comes with information that is provable. It's not based on some guy in some garage, telling you based on an emotion. No, it's real information that, you can go look it up and you see that it's there. How black people contribute to almost every country in the world, from Russia to Paraguay to Turkey, modern day Turkey. Even the Ottoman Empire had black, or the equivalent of a black general. So, yeah, these people are black people. They all do their own thing. They don't identify as like the way we have blackness in America. And I understand. I get it. Trust me, I get it. But just because they did not grow up in America does not mean that they have to use the language that we use in America or like even Africans use. So we also need to recognize that too and add them to the space of blackness, just as we add Africans too. But recognize the diversity in Africa. Recognize that, a lot of Africans recognize that their brethren from other countries who may not look like them based on skin color are still Africans. Don't feel that you have to say it's only people from this part of the continent down that are real Africans. There's no such thing like that. That's just some emotional hogwash. All Africans are Africans. It don't matter if they identify as Arab or identify as Christians or identify as traditionalists or identify as Jewish. They're all Africans. Do you find it difficult to come up with content ideas for your podcast? Or perhaps you've gotten stuck During an interview with a guest where you just have nothing to ask anymore, try Poddex today. Poddex is the best all-in-one podcast idea generation tool. You get everything from podcast ideas to interesting conversation starters for interviews, engaging discussions, for your live streams, and even social media content ideas. With this tool, you don't have to spend weeks trying to come up with content for an episode or unique questions for your guests. Just shuffle the cards and pick one at random. Hit the record button and get started. Now you can make better content, have more fun while you're at it, and get your viral moment, all with Poddex. Head over to poddex.com and use code C4C. Once again, poddex.com and use code C4C. And with that being said, I am Raphael Harry, and I wrap this up. Thank you. So thank you for listening. Don't forget to check out the C4 Challenge. There are other fantastic creators like myself included. And for more of my content, go to www.whitelabelamerican.com. And if you want to get bonus content, join us on Patreon, where there's loads and loads and loads of content, including questions from my Patreons up there. Please, we welcome your support. We have merch. You're not only supporting me, you're supporting Black-owned businesses. And I also give back to fellow content creators of color too, and from minority groups. I am Raphael Harry, host of White Label American podcast. Thank you for the privilege of your company.